So, as Aoife said, I have been in rehearsal since 10 o'clock this morning, so please excuse me if I'm a little bit tired or breathless. Coalition, division, religion, Eurovision, partition, collision, indecision, a vision. Thank you all for being here and for giving me the space to share some findings for a piece I'm working on called The Gospel of National Virility, which is also kindly supported by a bursary from the Abbey Theatre. I've had a few irons in the fire over the last 6 months, and this was what was most useful to show to you here tonight. So thanks a million to the Axis as well for making this possible and for supporting us all through a very, very difficult year. Show of hands, who has ever heard of General Owen O'Duffy? Okay, that's a few people. So he kind of gets a little bit sidelined when we talk about 20th century Irish history, the War of Independence, the Irish Civil War, partition, but there's a lot to unpack here. So, he was an Irish revolutionary, he was a prominent member of the Ulster IRA during the War of Independence, he was a Gaelic revivalist, he was deeply involved in establishing the GAA, he was the second commissioner of the Garda Síochána, a founding member of Fine Gael, and he was a fascist. Yeah, she was busy. Yeah, they're always very busy, these fascists, you know. In 1932, Owen O'Duffy established the Irish Fascist Blue Shirt Party and also raised an Irish brigade for Franco during the Spanish Civil War. And of course, Fine Gael are always very careful to keep that under their hats whenever they can, naturally. So Owen O'Duffy was also a confirmed bachelor who was obsessed with clean, healthy manliness. And according to his alleged lover, the effervescent founder of Dublin's Gate Theatre, Micheál MacLeamore, the plot thickens, I know, right? She was a fabulous queen. Owen O'Duffy also experienced same-sex desire. So, this book is called Owen O'Duffy, A Self-Made Hero by Fergal McGarry. And this has been my sort of main research tool over the last while. So, let's see what Fergal has to say. So this is from the introduction. Owen Duffy, who would later become better known as Owen O'Duffy, was born in Carrickdhu near Castleblaney in County Monaghan on the 28th of January 1890. So that makes her an Aquarius, like myself. And that's where the comparisons end. Carrickdhu, known locally as the Horseshoe, was an impoverished rural townland of less than 100 people, 1/3 of whom were illiterate. Owen's father, also Owen Duffy, was a subsistence farmer who eked out a living from 15 acres of boggy land he'd inherited from his father, Big Peter, in 1888. He and his wife, Bridget Feely, who grew up and died in the same part of Monaghan, had 7 children, of which Owen was the youngest. So far, so Patrick Kavanagh home. So this is from the preface of the book. Although repackaged in various forms, including cultural nationalism, republicanism, and fascism, O'Duffy's ideas, motives, and behaviours varied little throughout his life. While he could easily and reassuringly be dismissed as a pathetically flawed figure, a third-rate demagogue who clung to the coattails of Mussolini, Franco, and Hitler, it was the same person who was appointed Chief of Staff of the IRA, Commissioner of the Garda Síochána, General Officer commanding the National Army, leader of the political opposition, and who spent most of his career basking in public approval. As a cultural zealot who exploited the forces around him with varying degrees of success, O'Duffy's modus operandi renders him a useful prism through which to explore some of the key themes of 20th century Irish history, including the importance of language, religion, sport, morality, sexuality, and identity in public and private life. Biographies of Irish patriots often, and sometimes even appropriately, focus on courage, self-sacrifice, and idealism. These figure in O'Duffy's story, but so too do more problematic issues which illuminate some of the darker aspects of a period in Irish history characterised by violence and hatred, as well as idealism and conviction. After all, can we really understand modern Ireland without considering such themes as invention, intolerance, hypocrisy, and the abuse of power? Gonna move over here now. Stagecraft. Aisling. An Irish word meaning dream or vision. The Aisling poem is a poetic genre that developed in the late 17th and early 18th centuries, partially as a response to the collapse of ancient bardic orders connected with Gaelic systems of patronage that were decimated by British colonisation. In the Aisling, a personification of Ireland appears to the poet in a vision in the form of a woman, sometimes young and beautiful, sometimes old and haggard. She laments the current state of the Irish people and predicts an imminent revival of their fortunes. W.B. Yeats' play Kathleen Ní Houlihan, which contains themes of nationalism and blood sacrifice, is essentially an Aisling. The genre enjoyed a significant popularity in the late 19th century at the time of the Celtic literary revival, and it's one that Eoin O'Duffy would have been familiar with. While I was researching for this project, I revisited some of the old Irish myths and legends in search of queer representation, and was reminded of the story of Cuchulainn and Ferdia. Some scholars believe this relationship to be an adaptation of the love between Achilles and Patroclus from the ancient Greek epic, the Iliad, which the bards who handed down these stories would have been familiar with. Has anybody read the Song of Achilles? Anybody there? No? It's a really pop, pulpy retelling of the Iliad. It's great. It's like sun, sandals, bum sex, gods and goddesses hopping in and out like they're in an episode of Xena Warrior Princess. It's really good. It's ripe for a big major, Netflix adaptation. Somebody needs to make that happen. Anyway. So, in the Iliad, a decisive moment for the Greek army occurs when the hero Achilles enters the fray at Troy, maddened by the grief of the death of his close childhood friend and wartime companion. The Irish version, of course, is much darker. Go figure. In the Irish epic, the Táin, Cuchulainn and Ferdia have to fight each other to the death, and Cuchulainn kills Ferdia by skewering him literally up the arse with a barbed spear called the Gay Bullock. I'm not making this up. So, this is another book I've been using. Great. It's called Terrible Queer Creatures by Brian Lacey. Highly recommend. So I'm going to read you a bit from this. In the main story of the Ulster cycle, the Táin Bó Cúailnge, Cattle Raid of Cooley, Cuchulainn is led in what could be the plot of a classical Greek tragedy to fight and kill Ferdia, the beloved foster brother of his youth. After Ferdia's death, Cuchulainn cries out a beautiful lament for his sole brother. The following is from Thomas Kinsella's translation of the Táin. Ferdia of the hosts and the hard blows, beloved golden brooch, I mourn your conquering arm, and our fostering together, a sight to please a prince, your gold-rimmed shield, your slender sword, the ring of bright silver on your fine hand, your skill at chess, your flushed, sweet cheek, your curled yellow hair like a great, lovely jewel, the soft, leaf-shaped belt that you wore at your waist. As Oscar Wilde said, each man kills the thing he loves. Bear with me for a second. Just like on a pint of Guinness. How we all doing? Okay. I can never get comfortable with this. Oh. So, this song doesn't have a name yet, but it's basically an ashling for Ono Duffy and for the current right-leaning, conservative, gay head of Fine Gael, Leo Varadkar. In 2017, Leo Varadkar poses for a photo. He's wearing a dark grey suit, a blue shirt, and a navy tie. He feels strong, confident, handsome. His boyfriend helped him pick out this suit. He brandishes a red sign in front of him. Welfare cheats cheat us all. He smiles. He knows this photo will impress Fine Gael's conservative voter base, make them respect him. He needs their respect. Social change is frightening after all. He has felt that change in the pit of his stomach, heard the roar go up in Dublin Castle when same-sex marriage was voted in with overwhelming popularity. Feels good to be popular. He remembers in school how his classmates would laugh when substitute teachers mispronounced his name. He grips the sign more tightly, imagining it reads, Leo Varadkar, Taoiseach, leader. He imagines himself on the cover of Time magazine. He will be seen as a hero of the new Ireland. Ireland's first openly gay Taoiseach. But what does he see when the darkness has crept into a place where compassion has slept? Do the night terrors come when the moon is on high? What visions appear in the dead of the night? Derry down, 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 Derry down. Ono Duffy wakes with a start. The dream again, always the same. A beautiful young man in glittering armor, like the heroes of the old myths. He feels the heat rise in his loins. His mother had told him about these heroes by the fireside. He was with her when she died. It was a hard death. He had signed the death certificate himself, age 12. He wonders how many deaths he has witnessed in his life, or how many people have died because of him. He stares into the darkness. He will end the suffering of the nation, delivering its people from chaos and despair. His efforts to adapt Mussolini's principles to the cause of Irish nationalism had failed. The blue shirts had failed. But he will not fail again. He will establish a new party, Fine Gael. And this will be his legacy. But what does he see when the darkness has crept into a place where compassion has slept? Do the night terrors come when the moon is on high? What visions appear in the dead of the night? Derry down, 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 Derry down. If you are white, male, or even worse, middle class, Sinn Féin doesn't want you. So much for an Ireland of equals. Tweet. Leo Varadkar is in a rage. Privilege. This new weapon the left uses at every opportunity to discredit anyone who disagrees with them. Why should he pay the price for attending a fee-paying school? He worked hard to get where he is today. These people don't understand the meaning of a hard day's work. He checks his phone. 73 Twitter notifications already. As he begins to scroll through the responses, his anger intensifies. Ono Duffy stands in front of the mirror, straightening his tie. He stares deep into the icy blue of his own gaze. He does not blink. Commissioner of the Garda Síochána. The recruits will be a model of his own ideals, the flowering of the young manhood of Ireland, a healthy, free, and Catholic nation. He imagines their muscular torsos, their strong thighs, the tight, harsh wool of the uniform, the leather belt, the cap. He will preach the gospel of national virility, improvement, temperance, respectability, discipline, manliness. He feels his heart rate quicken. He does not break his gaze in the mirror. Leo Varadkar wakes suddenly. He is drenched in sweat. The dream again. The beautiful young man. The spear. A great rush of power. Beneath the sheets he is standing to attention. He stares into the darkness. And thus, the hero found himself upon a vast and lonely plain. There before him stood a beautiful, glistening youth. The youth had eyes of emerald green and flesh tightly packed on his slender frame. Around his chest were sheets of ivory, and his helmet was inlaid with glittering stones and curves of gold. The gaze of the youth was beseeching. Love me, brother. Let us forget this fight. I am not your enemy. Let us go from this place together as equals. My love. The hero knew that killing the youth would be a great betrayal, but when he gazed into the sparkling emerald eyes, he saw only his own suffering and was repulsed by it. The hero could bear the suffering no longer, and so he took up his spear, the barbed gay bullock. He knew that slaying the youth would bring that which he desired above all things: power and glory, dominion over men. And so, with one ferocious thrust, He plunged the gay bullock inside the body of his love. And as the spear ripped at the innermost part, the hero felt a pang of self-annihilation. And his lust for power throbbed. With his strong, manly arms, he placed the broken body in the river